Yeah, I'm John Hanniel. I'm a pastor with Kenya Assemblies of God, a place called Matangi in Roiro. And by God's grace, we've been married with Sarah for the last now almost 17 years. Yeah.
Oh, I'm Sarah Hanniel, the wife.
You see, this time round, I was having some low moment. Let me put it that way. And proposed to someone, and she had just told me no. So I went to some place for prayer, and then immediately after that, like after 2 or so weeks, I was going for a mission in a place called Kagio in Kirinyaga. So, and the pastor who had invited us sent this slender girl. I still remember her in a red dress, long hair, 1 GB or less than 1 GB. 3.8.9. And so we are with my brother. We alight from the mat, and the first person I saw was this slender girl in a very smart, red dress. And like there was that, could she be the one? And so, and then it so happened that she's the one taking care of us. Like we were taken to her auntie's place where she was living that time. So that's where we are staying. She's the one doing breakfast for us. She also happened to be our technician when we go for the crusade. and our interpreter for the crusades. So, and this time, one day she's interpreting and it rains heavily. So sisi ni wale wase kunyeshe bado tunachapa injili. So, and I realized she's not going away. So in my heart there was like, I think this is a second confirmation. The first time I saw her, there was some attraction. Now this one even confirms it more. But well, I didn't say anything. The mission completed. I went home and other things. Yeah, basically that's how I got to meet her for the first time. Yeah.
Oh, so when I saw them, I was the one who received the visitors. So when they came, I saw this young man. I also felt like I'm attracted to this guy. And then we went home. We stayed for a week?
Yeah.
And I really felt like I want to know more about this guy. But I didn't have the guts to ask him so many questions. But I was telling God, could he be the one? As for me, he was my first boyfriend. So I never, by the grace of God, I never suffered a heartbreak. So I was like, is he not? But for real, I was excited. Yeah.
You see, even after that mission, actually we never took contact. Like even I didn't take contact. She didn't ask for mine. And because we wanted to be very serious with God.
And you didn't know we are from the same place.
And then I didn't know we are from the same place. I'd come from Murang'a to Kirinyaga for the mission. And I didn't know she comes from not very far from where our home is. So after 1 year, I go to this shopping center is in Murang'a, a place called Kangari. And I see someone who resembles her. The reason why I used that is this time she didn't have hair. She had cut her hair down. So like, could she be the one? So, and well, of course I approached her and I said, okay, could you be Sarah? She said, yeah, I am. Oh yeah, of course she could remember me. I haven't changed much. So, so yeah, and we get to talk, and two things that were very important at that point of meeting. One, she was working in my home village. She now come and started working in my home village. And secondly, her home was about 20 kilometers from our home. So I'm like, you mean when Wauku? So, and of course, I was still a pastor, so the first thing was, can you be fellowshipping in our church? Because of course I realized now she can't make to her place every Sunday, so I invited her to our church, and yeah, she started coming. Of course, she couldn't refuse. Yeah.
Attraction.
Yeah, so my only worry was what happened to the hair. So sijui ni life ilikuwa imemgonga ama, but
Ilikuwa ikakatika katika, so I had no option kuikata tu. Yeah. We started by being friends.
Yeah.
Actually, I had friends, and at some point he thought I was engaged. So we became friends, and that friendship grew. I don't know.
yeah, but she was not easy to propose to. You know, wale, she was that church girl ako ndani, anakaa serious. Even when you know, and you're in church, even when you meet, for example, you meet for a talk, most of your conversation rests around church.
And God.
Say God, prayer, testimonies, fastings, and my pastor, those kind of things. So it wasn't really easy to even propose to her. But like she put it, we first of all developed a friendship,
Yeah.
which really worked well. One good thing is that she was very committed to church and ministry and missions, and just as myself. So would really find ourselves in the same circles many times.
Yeah.
Kuna kesha, so kuna, yeah, and but then you see also those days I think dating was not really like let's have a meetup. No, those things used not to happen. So ni mahali mmepatana, ni coincidence. Another story hapo. But I think after that was around 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same year. I remember now she got transferred from she was working in hospital, so she got transferred to another branch of the same hospital, which now was to be a little bit more farther than where. So I still remember that time when she told me she's moving. That's when I realized I think I loved this girl. It was like, oh, she's going. And I remember the night before she left. I think that's that evening we were having some conversation with some other friends, like a farewell kind of. And that's the time I told her, please, I would really want us to take this to the next level. So, and definitely we arranged for a date. And that's how I got to propose to her. I didn't know how to propose. When I finally decided I'm going to propose to her, so I talked with her pastor. Kamuliza, how is she? What do you think about this? And I thank God for my friend James. He's currently residing in the US. He told me, yeah, go ahead. What are you waiting for? And you know, now with him, he was a little bit elderly, or a little bit older than me, but he's a very close friend. Even today, very close friend. The kind of people you talk to when you have a very serious thing. So coming from him was now like a fourth kind of a confirmation.
And
like,
we were also friends.
yeah, and we were friends, and they were also friends with Pastor James. So again, hearing it from Pastor James, because all along, you know, when she went there, I knew she was serving very closely. So I was like, I'm a Pastor James and I propose. So when James told me, go ahead, I was like, wow, I think, yeah. And finally she said yes.
Yeah.
And that was my happiest moment
Ever.
Yes.
Funny enough, I still remember the date. It was 20th October.
Oh, okay.
In his office where he was working.
Yeah.
I think that was also my happiest moment. I felt so good. You know, I had waited for it for almost a year. So when he proposed, I felt so good. I was so happy.
Well, I think, you see, within that time, after I met her, it was about a year later before I met her. again for the second time. Around that time, yes, you are you are away from this person. You don't even know whether you ever get to meet them, and you're looking even in the church. You're trying to look and see if there is someone, and but somehow it was not working. So, and when I got to meet her again, now this time round, it's like I think all the others now can. Yeah.
Well, okay, as for me, I had so many proposals from different people. But one thing, I don't know why I never wanted to marry a pastor. And I loved him. When I saw him, I was so much attracted.
Yeah.
But to these pastors who proposed later, I said no. So it is like I was still waiting. Maybe one day, one time, I'll meet with that guy.
Yeah.
Mm.
And she was also working in a hospital, and she was getting proposals even from doctors.
You can imagine. Yeah.
Yes, and here you are, any passy too, and wow. Oh my friend. Oh my. Let me say, hapo Mungu alinitetea. Because hata do una. In fact, I was serving as an assistant pastor, but then I was also working somewhere. The pay was not good, and they would pay me after 10 months. So you're being paid like 7,000, and they will pay you after 10 months. So it's just frustrating. So hata hiyo pesa ya kujitetea nayo hakuna. So the only thing uko nayo ni maombi. Nasema God, wewe unaongelesha ngao wasichana. Ongelesha huyu.
Vile watu walikuwa wanaona it's like hauko sawa. Yaani Diara na kuproposia. Unasema hautaki. Kiaje sasa?
Yeah. For me, I think one is that she was very serious with God. And that was my number one quality. Like she just loved, because she would do, Sarah, even today she can do anything for God. Like she would even hate you if she has to love God. So that level, and I think that for me was because I knew the future is into full-time ministry, and I really needed someone who is very close to God. But then also, she has always been beautiful, and and especially her looks, her hair, her everything, like her everything. I remember around that time, there's one day she was very sick, and she went home, and she told me, I think it was a Sunday afternoon. I was like, why did you not come to church? I was unwell, so ameenda home. Sasa kwa wazazi wake, I couldn't start it. I had to go. I had to go. So because I couldn't imagine Sarah missing a church service. For her, God is very personal. God is very personal. So then the second thing is I used to love chapatis so much. Nowadays I'm no longer too much into them. So and she would do some good chapatis. So
For me, I loved somebody who loves God. So when I saw him, for real, he was my type. Because he loves God. And I always say, he's born again. Najua nasemaga, mi naiza, najua kuna wifi hizi torea bwanake ushuhuda. But as for me, I can say he's born again 24 hours, 24/7. And he's born again, he loves God. And then he's a great worshiper. I love worship. Wow. I wish you can hear him do it. Okay. So, he's such a great worshiper who loves God. Another thing, he has a beautiful heart. Namwambiaga maadui wengi wangu ni wale naona wanajaribu. Mimi sinaga maadui wangu. Imagine, for real. Sina maadui wangu ni wale naona wanajaribu kumfrustrate, because I always say, as for me, unajua kila mtu anajijua. Sasa naona yeye ako tu na beautiful heart. Sasa nashangaa, mbona unataka kuhatu huyu mzee na vyenye ni mroho safi? So kwangu nasemaga kwa yeye ako tu sawa. Yeah. I was very close to my dad. Even today, we are good friends and could talk about anything with my dad. Imagine hata kama nimemaliza college, ningekoriwa na mtu maybe ni kijana ananiuliza who is that, namwambia that is so and so, na anasema hivi, you know, with that close. And he knew so many guys wenye namwambia, but I never mentioned anything to him about him. Because one thing, nilijua he's a church elder. And he used to tell me, unajua pastors finyu wanafinyiriwa na washirika. So I was like, now, nitakwambia aje I'm getting married to a pastor. So hakuna mahali alituona na yeye hata siku moja. So this time round I told him I have visitors who are coming because I want to get married. That is the time I told him for the first time I'm getting married to a pastor. Yeah. He just kept quiet and then he asked me, haujapata daktari? Nikamwambia wako, lakini hakuna mwenye naona kama tunawezana. So huyu pastor ndiye tu nimeona ninampenda na tutawezana. So akasema tu sawa.
Well, with my parents, that time I'd lost my mom sometimes earlier than that. So this time I'm just myself, my dad, and our stepmom. And my dad was tough. So, and then my elder brother was not married. So na nile elder brother meachana like I think 8 years, 7 years. So I didn't know how to start that conversation. But in fact, I told him in a very in the tea farm we used to pick tea. So tuko tu kwa majani, tunapick majani, namwambia by the way, I'm planning to get married. Well, I can say the answer I got is not what I expected, because I thought he's going to be rough on me. So yeah, it's a good thing. So I'm like, okay. So then he goes on to ask me, who is she? Where does she come from? So I tell him she's working in Gethum Hospital, because he knew the hospital. He's like, yeah, it's a good thing. And I don't know whether to say fortunately or unfortunately, he said nothing more. Like he's like, when you are ready, let me know. So but definitely he was excited, and I knew he loved Sarah. Even the time he got to see her for the first time, he just loved her.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. I think one, he was excited, definitely because Sarah being his firstborn daughter, he was excited that finally she's getting married. But well, I think I was tensed. So so I am not even able to remember everything he said. But at least I appreciate that he was happy, and he was welcoming, and by the way, we are good friends.
Yeah.
Even today, even when he has, like a few weeks ago, no, last week, he had a graduation for his last son, and he just called me like, can we go? And yeah.
Another thing that really confirmed that we were meant for each other is when we talked to our spiritual fathers. So when he proposed, before I said yes, I told my spiritual dad, Reverend, he's called Reverend Zakayo. And so he told me, I'm going to Kateroni. After prayers, I'll come and tell you whether whether it's okay or not. Then I waited and I was like, and when he came, he told me, yeah, go ahead. When he took me to his pastor, the spiritual dad, he said, you are a perfect match.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I laughed those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what he said.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I took her to my pastor before I took her to my dad. So, so and my pastor, yes, used those words, you're a perfect match.
Yeah.
Actually, people used to say we are brother and sister
Mm.
because same height and like we almost looked alike. So,
Mko Sreda.
oh yeah, oh my. Mungu amenisaidia.
Tutatengeza picha.
Yeah. So when finally she said yes, immediately we sat down and we talked, and he said within the next 1 year she should get married. So, but then when I told my dad I'm getting married in the next 1 year, he said no, you have to wait for your brother. So so that's when now he also came. I think he was also in the same plans. He talked with dad, so he had to give him some space. So, and we began then our plans, and she was the rich one. She funded almost everything, by the way.
Imagine.
I remember like our ruracio, I didn't have money for the meat that was needed for that day. She gave me that money. I still remember she gave me 10K. 10K was a lot of money. I'm telling you. So she gave me 10K. That was enough actually to cook everything. So she facilitated that. And then also the ruracio, God is good because of my being pastor. And I was also working within the same community where I was serving. My friends came through for me also. They really supported me and my family. And so when we went, of course, you don't have a lot. But I thank God for my father-in-law. He said, if these people they want is to get married to church, musu wasumbue. I think I like that, musu wasumbue. So you come with what you have, and then later on, yeah, they allowed us to get married, and we began the plans. And you see, we are planning from the place where I was serving. It's not new to her because the place she used to come to church before she transferred. So we were able to put up together. The entire budget for our wedding was 60,000.
Imagine.
Nipigwa na beat.
Nipigwa na beat.
Yeah.
Ati beat mpya.
Yeah, the entire budget was around 60,000 because all that we cared for is just get money for the gown and food actually, and the photographer. The photographer was my friend, so we talked with him. He gave me the lowest he could do because this time you're not getting paid and all those things are happening, and so. Well, our friends really helped. I must say our friends really helped. And the church also. Like the food was taken care of by the church. So even when they are saying 60, so just to buy the things that need to be bought. And funny enough, on the wedding day, of course, I talked with one of my friends who was a pastor. He had bought a new Vitz. Sikuwa tu zimetokea. Kamwambia, Rev, please, naomba nitumie kadi yako for the wedding. For me, it was a big thing. And then we forgot that I am not living next to the church where the wedding will be. So there was no car for me. So I'm in the house with the young men, and my high school seal patron calls me. And she asked me, where's the wedding? And I told her where the wedding is. Then she told me, how are you getting there? Sina pick too much up. And said, no, I'm coming. I'll pick you up and God gave me a miracle that morning. So that's how I got to the place. Yeah.
The wedding was beautiful.
Yeah.
The wedding was beautiful.
I had always desired to do my wedding in church, so I was doing it in her church. And that morning, like I mentioned, I didn't have means getting myself to the venue. But I also remember, apart from my CEO patron, I still remember my aunt, who happened also to be my primary school teacher. She came to that wedding. I still remember she almost got an accident. She was riding a bike and she fell, and but then I think the rest. The service was good.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
People came.
Yeah.
Hey, people came. People attended our wedding.
Yeah.
Invited, and even those who were not invited.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful. The service was so good, and we had so many gospel artists. How did you invite?
Yeah.
And still there were so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was and the pastors pia
Yeah.
walikuwa wengi.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful wedding. And we really thank God.
But then, this issue of photo sessions has just come.
Imagine.
So the church service is over, and the photographer is like, "Why are you going for the photo session?" Like, "Oh, there are such things." Yeah. So good thing the church was next to some good football field, so we just walked. We just walked, and we took our photos there, and then also, you see, it's those days that you wanted all of your friends to be part of the bridal team.
I'm telling you.
So you have a whole bus of cars.
But I think 30 or 34. You can imagine.
Yeah,
There were
it
so
was a
many.
big bridal party, and yeah, but the other side of it is that, like she mentioned, I love worshiping, and the presence of God was evident.
Yeah.
That was a great part for me. It was very evident, and of course, seeing our pastors very happy with us, that was something else. Because you see, we are serving. You want to also make your pastors very happy, and the other part of it was our family. Well, my family is not that big, but at least all of them came. Yeah, all of them came, and the wedding day was good. But towards the end of the wedding day, Hanniel got lost.
It was big. I remember.
I think it was big.
It was
So,
big.
so and sijui ni makeup ama ni mikono ilifanya nini. So tulilia in the evening. Ana pete. So okay, what happened? And so tunajaribu kutafuta hatupati. And I love the deco we did in our wedding day. It's those days that you'd put passion. Ile passion fruit. Hiyo nini. So umeweka mapassion huko. Yeah, and some other ribbons that ikiuzwa na maji inatoka rangi. So that's how we began, and then the wedding is over, and the question is, what next? Mnaenda wapi? Kwani watu wanaendanga? Because sisi tulikuwa green from church.
Yeah.
Like, see, all we know is Jesus. Jesus saves, Jesus loves you. I'm telling you, so it's that time where, okay, where do we go? So during our dating, there is a place we used to go near Sika Dam. It's a very cold place. So, and it was August. August is rainy, it's cold. So, and it's the only place we know. So that's where we went. Yeah, definitely getting to marriage, there is the expectations of this will be a perfect marriage. It's going to be void of issues. Of course, like I said, having come from that very heavy spiritual kind of a lifestyle, so you're expecting at a home maombi na worship na kuhubiriana. So you get home, sasa hakuna kuhubiriana, ni kula story. So and our first year, the first shocker was she got pregnant in our honeymoon. So you're coming into marriage, you are trying to adjust into marriage, and then you have a baby coming. So it was not that easy. But actually God helped us to keep very, very close together. Again, the same time, I got transferred from my workplace to Nyeri. So you are commuting from Nyeri to Murang'a, because that's where she's working, so we decided around Murang'a. And in Murang'a kule interior, kule kunaitwa Kangare, ni huko ndani kabisa. So working from Nyeri, then coming. Actually, I never slept in Nyeri even once, because I knew I realized she's getting hurt, and definitely I had to adjust, because it's just the two of us. So, and then unaona your mentality ya mama afanye hivi, mzee, mzee akae sitting room. So those adjustments ni zile plot, imagine Aisha, so mnachota na mitungi mkileta kwa nyumba. So it's a story as it. But I thank God for actually her pastor, because let alone even the church where I was, we transferred and I went to plant a church, and now her pastor was closer. He was actually my presbyter or my overseer. He really used to help me. So ananiambia wakati mwingine hata ukichota maji bado ni pasi. So slowly I adjusted, and I would do that for her. Naweka maji, najaza matanki kwa nyumba kila mahali, and she was very happy. She was very happy. I could tell she's enjoying it. So
very much.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe gas imeisha, siwende, so naendea, akiona nimebeba hiyo mtungi ana feel vizuri. Kwanza mnapita kwa soko, umembebea mtungi ya gas na nikameko. So she's very happy. And but then towards the end of our first year, she was now due for delivery. That was I think this was July 2009. Yeah, July 2009. Because we got married on 16th of August
08.
2008, which happens to be my birthday also.
Imagine.
Hapo nilichezwa. So you can imagine. Sasa anniversary inaenda chini ya maji, tuna celebrate birthday, tuta revisit.
Of course, I knew it's very hard to forget your wife's birthday. When's how?
Lakini nitasahau.
But she never does. So July 2009, she was due for birth, and so I remember this evening I took her to hospital, some hospital in Thika, and I knew she was having some issues. Then the baby was big. So this time I leave her in this hospital, and then a friend of mine comes to see her. Anamwambia hiyo sisi mzuri, kwa nini basi alikuwa chapa? So they transferred her to another hospital. I kept praying, and I was just telling God I didn't know what is happening. Nobody's giving me any information, But I thank God that they took her to theater. So when I saw her in the morning, she was weak. I thank God she went to theater and came alive. The baby was in NBU. So because of the prolonged labor, there was some issues.
Brain damage.
Yeah, some brain damage and all of that. But at that moment, of course, as much as you thank God for the baby, I'm looking at my wife and I'm like, God, I'm too young. I'm just 1 year into marriage. I can't lose her now. So the Lord is good. My wife was coming up so well, but now the child was getting worse. And I think on the second day, the second day they tell us we have to transfer you to another hospital. So, and I tell them, I'm asking why, and they're telling us the baby and all of that. So I tell them that's okay. That was my first time to ride in an ambulance. It's not a good thing. So they put my wife. This is still not. It's just a day after CS, and the baby is on oxygen and all these things. So they transferred us to the level 5, and there again. Now you go into another world, because my wife is here. She was in another better hospital. Now amekuja place wanalala watatu
wanne na watoto.
Oh.
Na nimefanywa CS nilikuwa na siku moja.
It was
wanne na hao wako na watoto.
And I think after 2 days again the baby passed. So that now was another blow on all of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am trying to be strong for her.
Nobody's understanding us.
Yeah, there were issues. Some close people deserted us.
Imagine.
Wengine wanakuuliza tu maswali, unasikia hii ni ngumu. Okay, we knew it was a result of prolonged labor. Kanakuuliza mlikuwa mmeangaliwa HIV status.
Badala ya kujibu unatoa tu makaratasi zile vile mmepima unawapatia, as in it was bad. It was bad. Hey, it was tough. Naona sasa tuko tu mwaka moja na miezi.
So then my family together we decide we will bury the baby in my home. So my wife can't attend that burial because she's in hospital. She can't come. So I think that also complicated her issues now. That she wasn't even there when all the interment was happening, all these things were happening. And I think for us that's the darkest moment we've had. Especially because it brought with it a lot of other things. Friends are going away. People are not understanding you. And my wife is sick.
Na nimeachwa bandage.
Yes.
Because it was an emergency.
Yeah.
When the doc was operating, alisahau na bandage moja inside na ameshona. So us hatujui what is happening, but from ilikuwa hii side.
Yeah.
Kutoka hapa from here niko na shimo. Inatoa pass. And for 3 good months I went for daily dressing. Yani kwa naingia tu kwa hiyo room, machozi inaanza kutoka. So I remember this doc telling me, now Sarah, it is where I was working. She called Dr. Maura. Now Dr. Maura comes, tells me, now Sarah, I think you need to go back to that hospital and ask them what they did to you. So I'm like, tukaongea, and then my dad calls. I'm telling him I'm not yet okay. Na wanasema wameshidwa. So I was taken to Outspan Hospital in Nyeri. That is where Dr. Kirohe did another surgery to remove the bandage. Unajua aliniona akaniambia, young lady, do you know you could have died smiling? Because now I was smiling. Then, so at least walitoa.
Yeah, they really helped us there because apart from the medical treatment, they also got someone to take her through counseling, psychologist. And now that made the journey easier. After all that, my wife was like, No, it's like Leah saying, "Give me a child," because she really felt that I need a child, and she believed that would heal her. So the first thing we did, we really took time to pray. We were really praying, but before long, she got pregnant again.
Even we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't even know that she's pregnant, and this time she's now excited once again. But of course, there were fears.
And the doctors are like, huyu mtoto haizi grow.
Yeah,
Unajua hii uterus haija heal.
yeah.
I'm like, atagrow.
Oh yeah.
Naambia atagrow. Wanauliza aje. Nikawaambia, but I remember that doctor telling me, because you are pastors, atagrow. Wacha tuamini na nyinyi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and at that point we are now learning a new church. We just planted a church. She's now pregnant for the second time, and of course those reports from the doctors not very encouraging. But finally the doctor said, yeah, we can monitor her at Crossridge, and I really thank God, because she would literally come to where we were. She was now working in a different branch of the same hospital, but this doctor would make sure that she's coming herself to just get to see her. And after another, we got our firstborn son, who is now 14 years, going to grade 9. Yeah, among the CBC pioneers, those wenye tunaombea tu Mungu atuonyeshe the next step, what next for them. So, but he was a big joy. It was a big joy to our lives, and they are those moments we never forget them, because like there is one of our members in the church who really came through again for us, because we were again very far from the town and the hospital where we were coming, and he actually is the one who took care of that transportation and those kind of things. But this one without complications. Actually, even her healing was very fast. Was very fast. It's like almost like there was no CS, and yeah.
Yeah, and we have 2 girls. We have one boy, 2 girls.
Yeah, let alone.
Zote ni CS. So kumaanisha ni 4.
Yeah.
God is faithful.
Yeah, awesome. So in the year 2011, we now moved from Murang'a and came to Roiro, where we are pastoring KG Emmanuel Church. And by the grace of God, about a year ago, my wife, she would want to talk about that. She told me about a vision she has. We have been doing marriage enrichment programs, but then we realized among the young couples, there are real challenges. Some are marrying, breaking. Others, even within three weeks into marriage, you're already in the office trying to sort out issues. Many couples, like my wife mentioned, becoming very open with each other. Alafu kuna ile, kumbe hata si mimi peke yangu niko na issue. Because the sessions are not really like teaching sessions. It's interactive. What is happening with your marriage? What are you doing about it? And as they talk, unasikia mngeza, kangu hata ni kadogo. And many are getting encouraged into moving on with their marriage journey.
And for those who attend, they love the sessions so much.
Actually, wanashangaa hatuna ya December. And they have started even inviting friends.
Yeah.
Because our motto is you disagree to agree. Because nobody is perfect. Na tunasema unaweza kuwa unasema huyo partner ndiye ako na shida, but work on yourself. Because I believe when you work on yourself, there are so many things that you change. Yeah.
So most of we talk. Then and not just talking. Sometimes I would take her out and buy her what she loves. Like she loves ice cream and smoothies, vanilla. So if you get her that, unajua umeanza kupika kwa roho. Umeanza kupika kwa roho. So and definitely I'll let her talk. mostly I will let my wife speak first. Sometimes because she, the wife, when the environment is not very good, she gets hurt more because hii kitu amebeba na kila kitu. But good thing, let me tell you, hajawahi ninyima food, hajawahi lala kwa kiti, hajawahi rudi kwao.
Hata sijafikiria kupata.
Hata hajawahi fikiria. So as much as things get bad, sometimes you not even know, you not even notice. But of course, mi najua kuna waya haishikani leti moto. So
Mimi nyamazi yako.
Hawari kunyamazi.
Nangojea wakati wa kuongea.
Yeah, but basically our main is, of course, we pray about it, but then talk, because we don't want to just assume that things have been resolved. We talk about it and get to know what was. Like, for example, recently we had like a small misunderstanding, and so I'm like, why is all this happening? And then she pointed me to something that I take. Sometimes you take things for granted. Like, sahi uniangalii vizuri. Like, you're not giving me time.
Attention.
Attention. And my wife likes attention. Like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
So
when I'm talking to you, hauko kwa phone.
yes.
Ama kwa news, ama kwa paper.
Yeah. And una notice those small things. Nguo zimekuwa ndogo, nywele ime, you notice hiyo. For Sarah, if I notice that, it's good. So and yeah, I think we were having this conversation last week. She's like, hey, kuna vitu you notice. Like, I noticed she had changed her hairstyle for some time, and I think anaona sioni.
Na anafaa kuona, si ndio? Na aseme kitu.
Yeah. So on Saturday I was giving her some meeting. Nikampeleka nikaacha ameenda mahali alikuwa anaenda. And then as I was going, hata sikumwambia, so nikatuma kitu kwa simu nikamwambia sio nywele iangaliwe. So and yeah, so because again, you see, we can talk, resolve, say sorry, and they don't change. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I always ask him,
ni wapi ungetaka nibadilishe, because I know I'm not perfect and I don't want to tell myself I'm perfect.
Yeah.
So I always ask him, wapi unataka nibadilishe? And then when he criticizes me, I always take it positively. Whether in the ministry, unajua pia kwa ministry, as a pastor's wife unaweza jipata umefanya vitu hazifai. So I always take it positively, namwambia nitaangalia. Taki nipointia kitu namwambia, na hapo acha nijiangalie nione hata mimi. Sometimes hata ukuagi unajua that is what you are doing. Yeah. Thank you so much for being a good husband. I always thank God that I married you. You are the best gift, the best blessing. And if I'm given an opportunity again, I would choose you over 100 times. And thank you for being a good dad to our kids.
Okay.
And always know that I love you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. So Sarah, I'm very happy that I met you and that you're my wife. In fact, you are my dream. And I want you to always remember that I love you and I treasure you a lot in my heart. And every day I'm excited that we are doing life together. And even when I grow old, I want you to grow old alongside me.
thank you.
God bless you. I always love you.
Thank
Amen.
you. Wow.